Hey everyone, this is Kevin from thechesswebsite.com. Today we're going to be going over a trap called the Budapest trap, and it starts out with pawn to d4, knight to f6, and then knight to d2. Now this is a pretty uncommon move, but I came across this trap and thought that I wanted to go over it. A lot of people ask me, Kevin, while I'm playing, my opponents are making mistakes, but I don't know how to, capitalize on those mistakes. Can you give me some ideas on, when a weaker player is playing something, how to capitalize on that? So I feel like one of the first things I want to talk about is this move right here. So obviously white would actually like to play a move, knight to c3, knight to f3, simple development move trying to control the center, but his knight to d2 here is actually blocking off not only his queen on d1, but also his bishop here on c1 from development, and it's really not controlling the center like he would like to. He would actually like to not only control this e4, c4, but he would actually like to bring it to, let's say, c3, where he can control this e4 and this d5, not only controlling his own square, but also attacking his potential square of his opponent. But you may see an opponent play knight to d2, and the trap we're going to be going over today is when you play pawn to e5. If you're familiar with the Budapest gambit at all, it typically arises from this: moving your knight to f6, and then you're going to sacrifice this pawn here on e5, and then you're going to use all your knights to counterattack that and try to get that material back. So after the pawn takes on e5, black's going to now play knight to g4. Now I do want to go over some of the variations that you may see anytime I go over a trap. I do like to go over what happens if they don't fall for the trap, but first I do want to go over what the trap is, just in case someone wants to see the trap and then stop watching the video. So the trap is, anytime you have a knight here on g4, it seems to be, everyone feels like they have to play pawn to h3. It could be a bishop here, it could be a knight here, but they just feel like they have to play pawn to h3. Very common move that I see a lot, especially in blitz games. From here, all black's going to play is knight to e3. Now, if white takes here on e3, then it's going to be checkmate. If he does not take, then he's obviously going to be losing his queen. So he can choose if he wants to lose his queen or checkmate. Either way, it's going to be a very, very easy win for black. Now, if he does take with his pawn here on e3, then black can come in and play queen to h4 check. The only move that white has is pawn to g3, and then queen captures on g3 and checkmate. So this is the Budapest trap. It's a fantastic trap, especially if you can actually play it on someone. Again, this is only 6 moves, so pretty cool trap if you can actually lay it on someone. Now, again, I do want to go over variations if they don't actually fall for the trap, because h3 is obviously a huge mistake. But just kind of want to show you that even if they don't play h3, you can still have a very, very playable game. So from here, white can do one of two things. He can give the material right back to you, which obviously if you're equal in material, you should be fairly decent as far as a good game. But if he does decide, let's say he plays knight to f3, again trying to control the center of the board, and he's defending his pawn on e5, black can now play knight to c6, same thing, trying to control the center of the board, and he's also adding another attacker on this pawn to e5. Now, white, if he wanted to, just going over, again, he can always give back this material on e5, but if he wants to, he could play knight to c4, trying to hold on to this pawn here. Black can now play bishop to c5. Again, critical square for black anytime if he can get his dark square bishop here, attacking this weakness on f2 for white here. Again, he has 2 attackers here, his knight on g4 and his bishop on c5, attacking this weakness on f2. So for here, white can always play pawn to e3, trying to mitigate that attack here. And then black can just play queen to e7. So as you can see, white's going to be giving back this material. Black just has too many attackers on this pawn on e5. White's not going to be able to hold on to that. So even if white does not fall for the trap and play pawn to h3, which if he does, it feels pretty good to lay this trap on someone. But even if they don't, you're still going to have a very good game. If you've played the Budapest gambit before, a lot of variations for black, a lot of surprises that you can actually lay on your opponent. So as far as material, you're going to be okay, even though you do give up that pawn early on. It's going to be very hard for white to hold on to that. So just a few thoughts. Hope you guys enjoyed this trap video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.